First, we have Nepnu. With a rare combination of features, Nepnu is of particular interest to scientific community. Nepnu is a small terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and krypton. As with all the worlds of Farinata, its surface is scorching hot. The crust mainly consists of silicates laced with iron. Wow, I mean, this is the furthest planet out, and it is 848 degrees Celsius. That is crazy. I mean, I'm gonna say the star didn't look particularly big. I take that back. The star does look big, and it does look incredibly bright and powerful. So I suppose that does explain a lot. Is this Theron? It is not. It is Juntama, which is a small, broiling terrestrial world. Its thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane are being steadily blown off by the powerful solar wind from the star Farinata. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of sulfur with deposits of copper. Its density is low enough to leave the world tidally locked to Farinata. The Alliance Defense Data Network notes that several ships have been spotted cruising near Juntama with transponders turned off. While an Alliance patrol attempted pursuit of one, the unidentified vessel rabbited to FTL. Its trail was lost when it obscured its light trace with the confusion of signals along the Anansi Ishtar shipping lane, which is another thing that we heard reference to previously. Wow. Okay. So yeah, this one's 1,176 degrees Celsius. Might not be the hottest that we've seen, but it is way up there. Once again, 2 asteroid belts, which means there could very well be things here. You see that little flicker on the orbit of this innermost planet? Suspicious. Very sus. But okay, listen closely, see if you hear any little boops as we're going through this. And I did not hear any. So at least the initial indication would be that no, there's not anything there. Let's try, I suppose, next up is this inner asteroid belt. Okay, and even if we're not hearing anything here, I am very suspicious that was this here. But I'm very suspicious that there's something in these asteroid belts, and maybe that you get the little boop sound if you happen to come across stuff that is not in an asteroid belt, but if you do find something in an asteroid belt, then that does not give you the sound effect, in which case you just gotta scan like crazy. Also, oh. That's what we're looking for.
Signal confirmed.
Reapers? Yes, definitely. I'm guessing this is gonna be fuel, which normally I would say not great, but on this occasion we actually do kind of need it. And it's wreckage that gives us 200 units of fuel, so yeah, you know what? It's not bad on this occasion, and that is, once again, only half of the assets in this system, so does mean we have one more thing somewhere that we're looking for. Odie, how's it going? Thanks for the raid. What is up? What is up? What were you guys up to? What were you playing? We are doing some Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition here. We are just doing some exploration, getting the Reapers mad at us, probably about to have them chase after us. In preparation of, or at least doing this just before we take on Priority Tuchanka. What's up, guys? How's it going? And we have Tuchanka, which is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and nitrogen in its atmosphere. It has an unusually small number of moons for a gas giant, a mere 7. It's only 7! This is likely due to the star Farinata capturing the majority of the mass during the nebular collapse that created the system. Okay, so one more scan is definitely going to get the Reapers mad at us. The question is, where do we scan before the Reapers start trying to invade? There's a whole bunch of them coming right at this planet here, so I'm not all that keen on scanning Juntama here, although, I mean, generally scanning the planets has been one of the better options for us to do. So, I mean, there's one over here by Nepnu as well. And in terms of our escape route, we'd probably like to have it be in this direction over here, right where this Reaper is going to come from. No, I mean, now that we have restocked a little bit on fuel, we might be able to go more in this direction and not head straight back to the mass relay area. But, I don't know. I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Odie. We are, like I said, we've had the Reapers chase us out of one system already. We are probably about to have it happen here as well. Let's do it. It is there. Oh, and we... Mistakes were made. So yes, it's over there. Yes, we have scanned it. But I should have just, as soon as I saw it, I should have just immediately gone for it. But I hesitated. And when I hesitated, the Reapers started to close in. I'm like, now we don't have time. Now we're not going to be able to escape in time. So I'm actually not sure. If you scan a planet and you find the anomaly there, but then you have to leave the system just because, theoretically there may or may not have been Reapers chasing you out, do you have to rescan it the next time you enter that system? Or is it going to be known immediately upon going there and you can just pop on over, you don't need to scan again, you don't need to guess where it's going to be, it's just there and ripe for the taking? I am not sure about that. I am not sure. So yeah, just tempting fate and all that. And we have another system here in which we will continue to tempt fate. Because why not tempt fate before doing a mission and getting the Reaper alertness reset? So we have Raisha over here, which is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of sodium and ammonia in its atmosphere. During the brief gold rush to Clensol, that name sounds very familiar, a few companies established an infrastructural for helium-3 skimming and deuterium mining on Raisha's icy moons. When Clensol proved to be less wealthy than expected, the facilities were stripped for parts and abandoned. So yeah, we'll look for little insights as to possibly clues as to what might be the right places to scan here. Grammar is an icy terrestrial with a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and krypton. Its surface is mainly composed of frozen ammonia with deposits of tin and other light metals. When exposed to sunlight, Grammar's ammonia can melt, forming equatorial seas of the toxic chemical. Sounds lovely. This has allowed for a profusion of simple fungus and lichens to evolve in the low-energy environment. Very cool, actually. The whole toxic chemical thing, it was a bit of a turnoff, but hey, to each their own. I suppose the fungus says, we don't mind. A byproduct of the metabolism of those organisms' metabolism causes them to glow very faintly. While the light of an individual is insignificant, large patches seem to reinforce the light of one another and are visible from space. That is crazy. That is pretty awesome. I would be intrigued to scan that just for the sake of scanning that. What's up, Nux? No worry. No worry. How's it going? So once again, we'll just make a little loop around our asteroid belts here. And we'll see if we hear something there. No? Any indications of scan... Okay, they're IRL, there's someone walking on the stairs outside my door. Right as I was going by that, I was like, oh, is there something here? No, it's just someone going down the stairs. Okay, Clensol. As I was saying before, this name sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure we did something here in Mass Effect 1. Clensol has a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. Its first geological surveys were performed by Batarians and suggested areas of great mineral wealth. Human mining concerns spent billions of credits hustling to the distant system and sinking test pores to claim the system for humanity. But Clensol had only an average level of mineral wealth, valuable but hardly worth the rush and expense. Merida Industria, a small Mexican company hoping to strike it rich in their first extrasolar mining venture, had to file for bankruptcy protection. Investigation revealed the Batarian crew had deliberately falsified their surveys, hoping it would encourage human rivals to invest in a costly boondoggle. We have been completely bamboozled by the Batarians. How dare they? How dare they? This sound like Reaper footsteps. Gotta go. Sorry guys, stream's over. We gotta go. Reapers are here. The end is nigh. While unethical, this was not technically illegal, and the Batarian government disavowed the personal actions of a few misguided patriots. The planet is still littered with abandoned mining bases, which are often used as a temporary meeting place for criminals. So, as I said, the name sounds so familiar, I'm almost certain we visited here in Mass Effect 1, and our theory was that it seemed as though scanning planets that we had missions on back in Mass Effect 1 has been pretty fruitful when it comes to getting anomalies with credits or, well, mostly credits, but maybe war assets or other things as well. So that's probably our top priority, is to scan that. Then we have Nerum. Nerum is a terrestrial world with a thin atmosphere of methane and argon. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of basaltic rock. Its most prominent feature is the Elos Rift Valley, a long volcanic divergence zone that stretches across half the northern hemisphere. And it's hot. Ish. Then Jartar looks tiny. Jartar is a terrestrial world with a trace atmosphere of krypton and xenon. Its surface is hot and primarily composed of unremarkable silicates. I'm sorry, Jartar, I'm afraid you are remarkably unremarkable. Occasional deposits of aluminum, magnesium, and other light metals can be found. Jartar is noted for the discovery of the Leviathan of Dis, the apparent corpse of a genetically engineered living starship. Now, see, the thing is, we happen to know a thing or two about quote-unquote living starships. Does perhaps raise some questions as to whether that might actually be a Reaper, or the remains of a Reaper. So, let's see. The Leviathan was found in the bottom of a crater by a Batarian survey team and estimated to be nearly 1 billion years old. It disappeared after a visit to the system by a Batarian dreadnought 20 years ago. Since then, the Batarians have steadfastly denied that the Leviathan existed at all the more vociferously when shown recordings of the corpse made by Solarian researchers. Also extremely suspicious. Yeah, so we're definitely, we are going to scan aggressively here and then make a run for it. As I said, I think Cleansol is perhaps top priority.
I found something.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I was not ready for the Reapers to invade after a single scan, and they nearly did. Saw that meter going up, I was like, oh no. Oh no, but okay. So we got Cleansol. Let's check this out. The theory continues to hold up. Places where we had missions in Mass Effect 1 have had anomalies. And in this case, the prior two have been credits. What is it this time, though? It's also credits, so we're just striking it rich here. So I suppose that's fine. Then I'm kind of hoping this is going to be fuel, because we burned through a whole lot. And good thing, there are only, apparently, 2 assets in this area, and we found them both. So 200 units of fuel gets us back up to 703, and we just don't even need to scan again, so we can actually head out here and not worry about getting rushed down by Reapers for once. Okay, so now, just going based off the names, have to remember which ones are currently overrun by Reapers, which ones are not. I think Anataeus is the one with the mass relay, and Caucus and Farinata are the ones that do not have the relay and currently are overrun by Reapers. So, Plutus we've not yet been to. I thought there might have even been one more. Is it just Plutus left? I think it's just Plutus now. Okay, let's do that. Do we have enough fuel? It's gonna be close. It's also not the most efficient of paths. It's kind of on the way back, though. This is a huge planet this far out. It just seems a little bit odd. Veyaria. Those Reapers, they know too much. They know we're talking smack. Veyaria is a huge hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of methane in its atmosphere. That is all we will learn about it. Huge asteroid belt here. Once again, let's do a loop around. See if we get any obvious indications of things we ought to scan. Here's something there? I did not. Awfully big asteroid over here, but doesn't seem to be anything. Oh, totally random thought. So I've been recently started watching the Witcher Netflix series, first season. I finished the first season, now starting on the second season, but oddly enough, there is a specific song that they play very, very frequently in that show that sounds remarkably similar to this song right here. And now every time I'm watching The Witcher show, I always can't help but notice. It's really distracting now. I'm like, well, is Geralt's gonna just go out and explore the Milky Way now? Maybe, possibly. Anyways, Nonuel. Now that name sounds familiar as well. What is the deal here? Is this a place where we had a mission in Mass Effect 1 as well? It may have been. Though it is one of the oldest entries in the star charts, Nonuel has not yet been fully mapped. It is the largest body in the asteroid belt of the blue star Plutus, not only large enough to maintain a spherical shape, but also massive enough to retain the noxious carbon and sulfur dioxides venting from its many volcanoes as an atmosphere. It doesn't look like an asteroid, but I mean, okay, sure. Nonuel is rapidly volcanic, mind you. Yeah, I'm pretty certain we visited here in Mass Effect 1. Is this one of the last places you go to in Mass Effect 1 that only becomes available very late on in the game? You also noticed that? Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm not going completely crazy. So this place is rapidly volcanic. That might even be the description that they used in Mass Effect 1. That phrasing sounds familiar. And the source of its great heat is also the source of its inordinate mass. Nonuel is a secondary source of element zero, coalesced around a large chunk of Ezo ejected by a supernova billions of years ago. Surface conditions are extremely hazardous. In addition to the thin crust and numerous magma flows, wide stretches of the landscape are coated with slippery ash and cinders ejected from the volcanoes. Is this the planet in Mass Effect 1, or technically Asteroid in Mass Effect 1, that has the 2 pressure maws in it and has the lava pits that you can accidentally or deliberately fall into with the Mako or maybe on foot and die? I think this is it the only planet that has 2 pressure maws in Mass Effect 1? Think that might be the place. So that's probably top priority for scanning, especially because there happens to be another planet right next to it, so we might even get a 2-for-1 deal here. But let's take a look at what else we have. Because we have Cloacrolis, which is a moderate rock planet, roughly the size of Mars. It has a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. Its scorching hot surface is mainly composed of silicate rock with deposits of aluminum and other light metals. Cloacrolis has a very weak magnetic field. In addition to a very high level of solar radiation, it is not suitable for Mass Effect drive discharge operations. Also, 161 degrees Celsius, don't think we want to be hanging out there. We don't have to. Then Maedla is a terrestrial planet with a light atmosphere of carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. The surface is hot and mainly composed of magnesia with deposits of sulfur. Over a dozen volcanoes are currently erupting across the surface. It sounds like a great place to have a little holiday, a little vacation. Then Mingito also sounds vaguely familiar for whatever reason. It's a sun-baked wasteland of sodium, chlorates, and radioactives. Maybe not the best place to hang out though. Its relatively light mass has left it tidally locked to the star Plutus, with a dayside hot pole and a nightside cold pole. Powerful solar wind has stripped most of the atmosphere away. It is still, however, 675 degrees Celsius. That's gotta be on the hot side, right? Okay, so I think, as I was saying, when it comes to prioritizing the scans, we might even be able to get 3 planets here.
Signal confirmed.
Hey, Reapers, just chill, man. And the theory holds up. If there was a mission here in Mass Effect 1, there is almost certainly an anomaly there. Oh, except this time it's Special Ops Team Zeta, not credits. And War Acid updated, that might be a component of the 103rd Marine Division. Okay, so that's big. And that's everything in this system. So that's all we needed. And at this stage, everything that we have not yet explored in this area, this cluster as a whole, is currently overrun by Reapers. So that means we are just looking to head back. I think it's Antaeus. It's, yeah, this one down here. I'm hoping we have the fuels to make this happen. But technically, at least in Mass Effect 2, I assume this is also the case in Mass Effect 3, if you run out of fuel, this might have even happened to us previously. If you run out of fuel, you get teleported back to the system with the mass relay, so it actually can be a way to expedite that process. But, okay, so we're at 66% explored in the Hades Gamma cluster now, and we know where the other things are, or at least we know which systems the other things are in, and we have even scanned one of them, but it got overrun by Reapers before we could check it out. So, hopefully we'll get the chance to head back there on a future occasion. We could do something very similar with the Gemini Sigma cluster if we'd like, because, if we're gonna go do a mission on Tuchanka soon, then that means that we're gonna get the Reaper alertness reset across the galaxy, so in some ways, that is kind of a nice thing to do, is just make a point of doing as much exploration as you can, when you can, and that way, if you mess up and get Reapers to chase you down, then, you know, you'll get a second or third chance. So, maybe it's worth a quick trip here, although, I suppose we have enough missions. It's not like we're about to finish the game. We're gonna run out of time if we don't do this right now, so I suppose we're fine. In which case, I suppose we're ready to head over to the Krogan DMZ, and we're gonna try secure the genophage. Okay, so, I mean, you could make the case that we ought to refuel now because we did spend almost all of our fuel. We don't need to use any of it right now to get to Tuchanka, but it's an option. The other thing is after picking up a fair bit of credits from all those credit recoveries launching probes in the Hades Gamma cluster, we could afford a few things here. Probably not a weapon per se, but we could upgrade a weapon down on the Normandy dock there. I forget what the bottom floor. We could do it there. We could even head back to the Citadel and buy some weapon upgrades, some mods if we'd like. That's an option as well. Not necessarily sure. It is desperately urgent that we do that, so I guess we'll still go straight to Tuchanka. But of course, that is just it's probably now us setting things up for a bit of a jinx where it's going to be, oh, well, we needed 5% more damage to take out this enemy before it killed us, and if we had upgraded this weapon, then we would have had just enough damage to do that. Lids, how could you not upgrade the weapons when you had enough money to do so? Sorry, guys. Sorry, okay? My bad. But anyways, so we do have two options here. We can either extract the Turian survivors, that is the mission that Primarch Victus had instructed us to do, and then the cure of the genophage is, of course, the big deal. And I think we will go for this one first, and we're going to save this a little bit and use it as a test for Garrus's ascension into godhood.
All hands, full stop! Hostiles detected at the landing coordinates.
Joker, what have you got?
Sensors show a Reaper parked at the Shroud facility. No way you're going to be able to land a shuttle there.
That doesn't sound
good.
Get
everyone assembled in the war room. I want eyes on the Shroud.
Aye, aye, sir.
New form of Reaper, Shepard, using Shroud to poison Tuchanka's atmosphere. Problematic.
They want to fight. They just got one.
Primarch, we're gonna need your help.
That could be difficult. Our losses on Palaven have been catastrophic.
Yeah, but, you know, if we get the Krogan support, then the Krogan can support the Turians, and then everyone's happy, right? That's totally the way this works. Because I know we're talking about Tuchanka, but at the end of the day, it's also kind of sort of for Palaven. At least if you believe it is, then it is.
We're doing this for Palaven. No one said it would be easy.
What do you have in mind?
A combined attack. Your people hit the Reaper with an airstrike. Rex, at the same time, your soldiers will be attacking from the ground. Together, you can draw it away from the tower.
Yes, distraction. Small team can reach Shroud facility, finish synthesizing cure. We'll need Eve to come with us.
Okay. So, you know, no big deal. There's just kind of sort of a Reaper right in the very place on Tuchanka that we're trying to go. So, you know, everyone's up for it, right? Nobody's concerned about that. We'll be fine. We've got a plan.
We've never faced a Reaper up close like this. Everyone on board?
There's even a doubt? Let's move, Pyjack. It's time to cure the genophage.
Hey, who are you calling a Pyjack?
Commander, incoming message marked urgent. I'll put it in the comm room for you.
Dalatrus?
Commander Shepard, we know you've reached Tuchanka. And by now, I imagine Morden Solus has proposed using the Shroud.
So this is the leader of the
Are you
Solarians,
spying
just
on us?
as a heads up.
Hardly. The Shroud is the only viable course of action open to you. Commander, you can't allow your misguided sympathy for the Krogan to cloud your judgment. Do you honestly believe curing the genophage will end in lasting peace?
I mean, that's kind of the goal. Yeah?
We have to give the Krogan that chance. You can't condemn an entire race to extinction based on what might happen.
What will happen is the Krogan will reproduce out of control. We uplifted them specifically for their violent nature, not their diplomatic skills. Another war is inevitable.
What do you want, Dalatrus?
Years ago, our operatives sabotaged the Shroud facility to ensure what you were planning couldn't be done. Morden will likely detect this malfunction and repair it. But if you ensure that he doesn't, then the cure's viability will be altered just enough so that it fails. No one will notice the change.
Oh,
You
snap!
mean trick the Krogan?
They need not be any the wiser.
Yes, she does.
Let Erdnot Rex believe you fulfilled your promise.
Morden would never stand for that.
How you deal with him is up to you, Commander. We can provide you our very best scientists to build the Crucible, and the full support of our fleets.
So now you're bribing
If
us.
I sabotage the cure.
Think about it, Commander. The choice is yours.
So, no big deal or anything. It's just that the leader of the Solarians wants us to sabotage the genophage cure so that the Krogan do not have a way to actually reproduce, because they're concerned that if we do that, then once this whole Reaper thing is over, and that's a pretty big logical jump there, but let's roll with that. If/when the Reapers are destroyed, then they're worried that the Krogan, without the genophage, would be able to reproduce like crazy, and we'd be back at Krogan Rebellions round 2, and, well, the only way that got stopped last time was with pulling the genophage. So that's why they are trying to have that happen this time as well. No, it's not a blind playthrough, Odie. I have done Mass Effect 3 before. It's been a long time since I last played. I don't know, like 7 or 8 years since I've done the campaign. But I'm trying to generally go through the playthrough so that if anyone who's watching now has never played Mass Effect before, then I'm not spoiling anything before we go through it here. So, you know, once we do big things, talking about the sort of ramifications of them on occasion, and what alternatives might have been, but trying to keep it spoiler-friendly for at least people who have not yet seen it. Although, I myself have seen and played. So, in terms of who we'd like to bring for this mission, so as you can probably guess, it's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big one. This is one of the main missions. And so, in terms of who we'd like to go with here, our go-to has generally been Garrus plus Liara, right? Which is kind of fitting, since it is the two people we've had on our team the longest, since they were here back in Mass Effect 1 as well. But I'm thinking that we might instead opt for something along the lines of, thinking we do go with Garrus. And it will be a bit of a test of his skills with the Typhoon here. He's not fully charged up, fully powered up with all the upgrades and what have you, but he should still be capable of dishing out a fair bit of damage there. Oh, his armor bonus is for shields. I did not remember that we had other alternatives here that we had not optimized, because yeah, no, now that we have the Typhoon, we definitely would like to put on the 25% weapon damage to shred people's defenses even more. So yeah, I think we take Garrus, because he's just going to be all-around awesome damage. And for the other person, I think we'd like to have someone... I mean, he's mostly weapons damage. We'd like to have someone else who provides a little more in the way of powers and crowd control and what have you. And oftentimes that does mean going with a biotic. That's in large part why we've paired Garrus with Liara so often. But we have done that a lot. And so what I'm thinking here is maybe we even go with something a little bit different, and take Javik instead. Because, oh, also, our recharge speed, I'm not sure if we've done anything. Looking at his options here for his powers, do we prefer damage or recharge speed? I think we do prefer damage for him, because his biggest power, generally speaking, is going to be that Dark Channel, and that's very high damage, but it the cooldown doesn't matter too much on it. So for that reason, I think we probably go with the power damage. So yeah, I think we take these two. And I'm not sure if have we done these two before? We may have done it on the did we do these two for the Krogan team? We might have. Okay, then for weapons. So for us, we have the Acolyte. That's probably still going to be our go-to for our pistol. However, finally we have something other than the Shuriken for an SMG. Thank goodness. We can go with the Hurricane, which is amazing. However, you'll notice here it is a fair bit heavier than the Shuriken. So we're actually not going to be at 200% power recharge speed if we go that route, unless we slap on some kind of, say, ultralight materials. But let's take a look here. What are our options? What do we have available to us? The accuracy. So the thing with the Hurricane, I suppose, since although we've purchased it, we've not yet used it. The thing with it is that it has amazing damage and rate of fire. It's not that accurate, or at least it has absolutely ridiculous kick. And so basically you need to find a way to compensate for that in order to make up for it, and if you do, then it becomes one of, if not the best, damage SMGs. So for that reason, it also blows through ammo incredibly quickly. So the heatsink might be a decent option. The high caliber barrel, I mean, if we don't have any alternative, might be the direction we go for the damage. Ooh. We don't have anything to increase stability, which is a little concerning. Because that is, as I said, one of the key ways to improve the damage. We could go ultralight out of curiosity. That does get us to 200% if we put on the ultralight. How do we feel about that? Might go that route. Oh, also there's one other thing that I wanted to do before we initiated this mission. I meant to select a bonus power, because we currently do not have one. Yeah, that's okay. We'll try to find a way to make do. It's not going to be absolutely urgent, but it definitely would have been helpful for one specific part. But anyways, let's look at our squad mates' weapons and whatnot here. Garrus, we have the right stuff. So this is what we would like to have for the SMG, is something like this to increase the stability of it for the Hurricane. So for Garrus, he's going to rip things to shreds with this guy. Ooh. Do we need the additional armor piercing? I meant to double check this, but I forget what the technically optimal solution is, because he already has so much armor piercing with his armor piercing ammo, and the Typhoon does, I believe, have a little bit by default as well, or at least can pierce through cover a little bit by default. This might still be our answer here. Technically speaking, this is a little bit more in terms of base damage, but because the Typhoon does take a little bit of time to ramp up, there's something to be said for increasing its capacity. Maybe we go that route, maybe we go this route. I think we might just stick with this. Then, do we really? Sure, we'll stick with the Mantis. Then for Javik, probably a similar story, except for him, he does not have the armor-piercing ammo, so yeah, having the rifle piercing mod is probably worth doing for him. And then Scorpion, I guess, makes sense for the pistol. Okay, then for abilities here, yeah, with 3 points remaining, would have been great if we did select a bonus power, then we could have at least put a couple levels into that. Because what I would love to have would be just a little more survivability. We do have some. We did take some additional points into fitness here. But, yeah. I mean, we can get the faster recharge speed relatively soon. One more level is probably going to be sufficient there, but even just pure defenses is going to be useful, so would have liked if we had either a few more points to invest further into this or a bonus power that gave us a little more defensive capabilities. But since I did not remember to do that preemptively, we will not have that option. So then for Javik, I'm thinking, yeah, the lift grenade could be nice at times. Pull is mostly just deal with guardians, but don't think that needs to be highly leveled. His passive, what do we have as our next option here? Weapon damage or power damage 40%. I think we're probably going to go for that. Yes, he does have access to assault rifles, but he's not going to be the same type of weapons platform that Garrus is. It's a little bit of a hybrid, so I think we're going to go with the power damage here. Then Garrus with 2 points. I mean, we could put one more level into concussive shot for the recharge speed. Not really sure that's going to make a huge difference. I think for the most part, we're just trying to get up high enough to get this last round of armor-piercing ammo. So that's what we're going to wait for. Yeah, because getting the additional reduction in armor effectiveness would be awesome against bosses in particular. So I think we'll wait on him.
I've ordered the clans to assemble at the Hollows. It's our sacred meeting ground. We'll land there and take an armored convoy against the Reaper. This will be the defining moment of Krogan history.
Krogan history filled with defining moments, most bloody. Hope this one better.
Hope so too. Or at least that it's the Reaper that leads, if it can even do that. Eve just read us right there. Yeah, so see, the thing is, so you can, of course, as you might imagine, try to do what the Dalatros, the Solarian Dalatros, requested that we do, and keep it on the down low that we might actually be trying to sabotage this genophage core, or you can, well, out the Dalatros and just immediately tell people, hey, by the way, there may or may not be a whole plan to try to shut down this operation, and that's what we're gonna do.
I got a message from them.
Or at least try to do.
Rex, it's Reeve. The Reapers are already at the Hollows. Come out with guns blazing.
Hang on tight. We're heading in.
That does look pretty cool with the Typhoon there. Oh hey, what's up guys? Thanks Rex.
Shepard, keep them away from the female. I'll sort out what's happening with the other clans.
Punch that, Reaper. Get rid of those husks.
Everyone pick your targets and keep an eye on our six. Now move!
Okay, so we got a lot of husks. So, fortunately, it's kind of our specialty. Ooh. And away that one goes. Okay, I mean, we can blow it up.
Push forward.
Or Javik will slam it before we can. Alright, fine, we'll blow that one up instead. If you want to walk into our singularity, that'd be great. Although, this is one of the first times... I mean, we've had some time for Garrus to unveil his power with the Typhoon, but, I mean, he's gonna just shred these husks, as we've already started to see. Why don't we... Yes, he's on the Typhoon. I suppose we'll keep the Typhoon on for Javik as well. Let's make sure... Just tell Garrus to turn it off or put it back on. No, he has it on already. Okay, cool. Okay, Javik, you should just get a dark channel going on somebody. I'm not sure if you were quick enough to do that. So the thing is, we might not be fast enough to take out these guys before our teammates do. But we're gonna try. Oh, also guys, by the way, there is a husk right on top of you, or a series of husks right on top of you. Maybe you should not be hanging out over there. You know, we don't need to make this any more complicated than it has to be, right? Garrus? don't need to make this any more complicated than it has to be, guys. Like, that was Javik. Just took out a Husk in, what, like 3 shots? And, of course, as we were saying, Garrus hits much harder than Javik does. It's cool how you see the Husks climbing up there as well.
They'll sing battle songs about this someday. Reaper blood has finally soaked our soil.
We have to get to the Shroud. The airstrike is on its way.
Female safe, Shepard. Vitals are strong.
What's a Solarian doing here?
Oh.
Nobody said anything about this.
Multiple Krogan. Problematic.
I mean, we're on Tuchanka. Morton, I don't know what you expected. If it was not multiple Krogan, then you were clearly dreaming. So, hey, by the way, just what clan are you guys from? Just
Who are you?
Not Reeve, brood brother to our illustrious leader. Reeve and I share the same mother, and nothing else. For which I'm thankful. I remember what it means to be a true Krogan.
He's got his posse as well.
And drown them in a geyser of their own blood. We don't invite them into our home.
You can also see one of Reeve's friends there on his shoulder had the Blood Pack symbol there. So, of course, we saw a lot of Krogan Blood Pack members before, but that is an interesting little touch there. So, yeah, but I know you guys may kind of sort of hate all of Solarians, but trust me, this one's with us.
The Solarian is not your enemy. He's here to help cure the genophage.
His kind gave us the genophage. Why should we trust him?
Yeah, you know, you do have a valid point there, but nice, Rex. Show him who's boss. Guys, we're on the same team, right?
You can stay here and let old wounds fester as Krogan have always done. Or you can fight the enemy you were born to destroy and win a new future for our children. I choose to fight. Who will join me?
Alright, Eve. Now we're talking.
And so will I. Now hold your heads high like true Krogan. There's a Reaper that needs killing.
Copy that, Artemek. We're on our way, trying to make up lost time. Shepard out.
Reeve isn't the only Krogan who wants revenge for the genophage, Rex. You'll have to placate them somehow.
I'll demand the Council return some of our old territory. We'll need room to expand. Recapture the glory of the Ancients.
Careful with that talk, Rex.
Ancients led to Krogan rebellions, countless deaths, creation of genophage, expansion plan, problematic.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of the whole thing that started a war.
What were the ancient Krogan like?
Tuchanka wasn't always a wasteland. In the old times, the Krogan were a proud people. We had dreams, a future to look forward to.
Until Solarian interference.
No, we destroyed Tuchanka ourselves. Technology changed us. It made life too easy. So we looked for new challenges and found them in each other. Nuclear war was inevitable.
And now our planet is rubble. We'll need a better place to live.
And so we've heard mentions of that actually numerous times. Certainly in Mass Effect 2, perhaps a little bit in Mass Effect 1 as well. That the Krogan caused a nuclear winter on their own planet. And so that's why one of, among many reasons, why Tuchanka is a wasteland.
I'd say helping defeat the Reapers would be worth a new planet.
Or 10. We haven't seen how fast we can pop them out.
Alright, Rex, let's not get carried away.
What? With the genophage cured, we'll have a lot of catching up to do.
Commander, on the shuttle, was there something you were going to say?
Eve. Eve is on top of it. So yes, I think we are going to let them in on the little would-be secret that the Dalatras would like us to keep.
The Dalatras tried to cut a secret deal with me.
What kind of deal?
She said they sabotaged the Shroud years ago. The cure won't work unless we fix it.
Years ago, our operatives sabotaged the Shroud facility.
Yeah, Dalatras, we were recording that, by the way.
Planning couldn't be done.
And she thought we wouldn't know better?
Correctly. Would likely have fooled tests, but familiar with STG work, can adjust. Did not come this far for nothing.
You just spared our race another genocide, Commander.
I told you we could count on him. Why are we stopping?
Look at these things, man. The tires are huge. Look out, Garrus! They're gonna run you over!